Here are some news updates at this time on television Nigerian. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the nomination of a former two-term Minister of Finance and former Managing Director Operations of the World Bank, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, for the position of Director General of the World Trade Organization. The nomination comes shortly after the incumbent Roberto Azevedo announced that he would step down from the position on August 31, 2020, cutting his second term short by 1 year. In a document addressed to all embassies and permanent missions in Addis Ababa, the federal government also withdrew the candidacy of Frederick Aga, Nigeria's permanent representative to the World Trade Organization, for the position of Director General of the World Trade Organization for the term 2021 to 2025 at the elections scheduled to hold in Geneva, Switzerland in 2021. It described Okonjo-Iweala as a renowned global finance expert, an economist and international development professional with over 30 years of experience, having worked in Asia, Africa, Europe, Latin America, and North America. Okonjo-Iweala served twice as Nigeria's finance minister from 2003 to 2006, 2011 to 2015, and briefly as Nigeria's foreign affairs minister in 2006, the first woman to hold both positions. She had a 25-year career at the World Bank as a development economist, rising to the number 2 position of Managing Director, Operations. The All Progressive Congress (APC) has announced that 6 governorship aspirants in Edo State will be screened for its primary election scheduled for June the 22nd. APC National Publicity Secretary Lanre Issa Onilu, in a statement on Friday, said the aspirants have both completed and submitted their expression of interest and nomination forms, which includes Governor Godwin Obaseki, Osage Ize Iyamu, Pius Udubu, Chris Ogenwoyi, Osaro Obaze, and Matthew Idiori-Ekenwe. APC said to ensure due diligence and transparency in the screening exercise and learning from recent shocking experiences, it was determined to avoid any lapses in the process and will make the submitted informations and documents of the governorship aspirants available to party members and the public for verification of claims and to support the screening panel with information or any objection to the claims contained in the submissions by the aspirants. The various submissions will be displayed at the party's National Secretariat in Abuja and in Benin, the Edo State capital, from Monday, the 8th of June to Tuesday, 9th June 2020 for claims and objections. Submissions of completed forms and accompanying documents ended Wednesday, 3rd of June, while publication of claims and objections will be from Monday, 8th to Tuesday, 9th June 2020. Screening of aspirants has been slated for Wednesday, 10th to Thursday, 11th June 2020, and this will be followed by screening appeal, which will hold on Friday, the 12th of June, while the primary election will hold on Monday, the 22nd of June, while election appeal has been slated for Wednesday, 24th June 2020. Zamfara State House of Assembly has sacked the 14 local government council chairmen and their councillors in the state for alleged nonchalant attitude to security issues and financial recklessness. The lawmakers therefore directed the state's Independent Electoral Commission to prepare and conduct elections within 3 months as contained in Section 81, Subsection 1, A and B of Zamfara State Law 2012 as amended. Public Relations Officer of the Zamfara State House of Assembly, Mustapha Jafaru Kaura, told journalists in Gusau that the dissolution followed a resolution of the House and a report of Auditor General for local governments for the year 2018. The House also recommended the dissolution of all the local government councils in the state and urged the state governor to submit the names of sole administrators to the House for ratification. Kano State Governor Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje on Thursday ordered a house-to-house sample collections from suspected COVID-19 patients, particularly within the 8 metropolitan local government areas in the state. The governor's pronouncement followed a data from the State Task Force on COVID-19, which confirmed that the virus is fast spreading within the 8 metropolitan local government areas in the state. The governor's pronouncement followed a data from the State Task Force on COVID-19, which confirmed that the virus is fast spreading within the 8 metropolitan local government areas in the state. Speaking during the press briefing organized by the State Task Force on COVID-19 held at the Government House in Kano, Ganduje stated that they are emulating politicians who employed the house-to-house tactics during elections to ensure that COVID-19 is properly dealt with, and also commended the efforts and commitment of frontline health workers in the fight against the pandemic in the state. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, announced that over 300 bandits has been killed by troops in the ongoing onslaught against the hoodlums in the northwest. He said the air component of Operation Hadarin Daji will not relent in flushing out bandits and kidnappers in the northwest and other parts of the country. Abubakar, who spoke at the Umar Musa Yar'Adua Airport, Katsina, during an operational visit to the air component of the Operation Hadarin Daji, challenged the troops not to spare bandits. He further explained that arrangements were ongoing to establish an air range at Dungurun Forest, bordering Katsina and Zamfara states, in order to dislodge armed bandits within the forest, and however urged bandits and kidnappers terrorizing communities in the region to surrender their arms or face the wrath of the law. On the foreign scene, protests over the death of George Floyd continued in Washington, D.C. and across the nation on Thursday and are expected through Saturday when thousands of demonstrators plan to descend on the nation's capital ahead of Floyd's funeral next week. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser told reporters on Thursday that for the first time this week, no curfew was in place and protests became more peaceful each day with no arrests on Wednesday. The first of three memorial services for Floyd took place on Thursday in Minneapolis and featured Reverend Al Sharpton and the mother of Eric Garner, among others. Two more services are to be held, one in his birthplace in Rayford on Saturday and another in Houston, his hometown, on Monday. Madagascar's Education Minister, Rajiswa Adriamanana, was on Thursday sacked over a plan to order $2.2 million worth of sweets for school children. According to news sources, Andrea Manana last week said she was ordering the sweets for children to take to mask the bitter aftertaste of the COVID Organics concoction, a plant-based tonic being promoted by the government as a cure for COVID-19. Each student in the country was expected to get 3 sweets, while local media says the minister called off the plan after President Andrea Rajoelina objected and she was accused of planning to embezzle funds in her ministry. Her counterpart in the Higher Education Ministry, Elia Beatrice Asomoko, is billed to take over in an acting capacity. Lesotho's former First Lady, who was charged with the murder of her husband's estranged wife, is seeking bail to go look after her husband, who was recently critically ill, on Thursday. 43-year-old Messiah Tabane was charged in February over the brutal killing of former Prime Minister Thomas Tabane's previous wife 2 days before his inauguration in 2017 and spent half a night in jail before the country's higher court controversially freed her on bail. The Court of Appeal cancelled her bail last week Friday and she returned to custody on Wednesday after traveling from neighboring South Africa, where her husband is receiving medical attention. Fresh bail applications court papers seen on Thursday said that Tabane has been diagnosed with prostate cancer, dementia, incontinence, and Alzheimer's, and he will most definitely die if his wife is not by his side. Tabane's health has been deteriorating at an alarming rate in recent past, and the former premier, who agreed to step down in January after police linked his mobile number to communication records from the scene of the murder, officially resigned last month under pressure from his rivals, who accused him of hampering investigation into Lipelolo's death. In sports, Minister of Youth and Sports Development Sunday Dare has confirmed the approval from the federal government of the planned revival of the National Stadium in Lagos through concession. The edifice has remained in terrible state of rot for close to 2 decades after hosting the final of the AFCON in the year 2000, while several past sports ministers have failed to return the edifice back to its place of pride in Nigerian sports scene. Dare on Thursday revealed that he has secured approval to concession the sports city and that in the next couple of weeks, those who are interested in taking over the National Stadium Surulere and Hostel will come forth and the normal process of concession will begin. The minister also hinted that work will soon begin at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja in order to give it a facelift, as talks were in final stage of agreement reached with Dangote Group to refurbish the facility. As the English Premier League gets set to resume action, football's international lawmakers has given the competitions the option of increasing substitutes to protect players' welfare on the sport's resumption. Premier League teams will be able to make 5 substitutions rather than 3 in each match, while the teams will also be able to name 9 substitutes instead of the usual 7 to end of the season after clubs approve new rules. Premier League football will return on 17 June after a 3-month absence, while an announcement of the first few rounds of fixtures since the campaign was halted by coronavirus on the 13th of March is expected to be made this Friday. Clubs have also agreed in principle to use the neutral venues if required, although the vast majority of matches are expected to be played in their usual grounds, bearing local spikes in coronavirus cases. And that's the news update at this time in Television Nigerian.